going on, guys? So this is a video I've been wanting to make for a while now, even before they announced a Batgirl solo movie, because if you remember back in the day when Gotham City Sirens first got announced, there were rumors that it was going to be the Gotham City Sirens versus the Birds of Prey, so I was going to do a fan casting for who could play the Birds of Prey, but now that we have officially confirmed, although WB hasn't released a press release, Joss Whedon has talked about directing the Batgirl movie. We can say it's officially confirmed that we are getting a solo Batgirl movie, meaning we need to cast a freaking Batgirl. So I thought, why not just go ahead and do this video, because since she is getting her own solo movie, more than likely, if it goes off and it's really good, she could get 2 more on top of that, making it a trilogy. And in one of those trilogies, in one of those movies in the trilogy, she could form the Birds of Prey, which would allow her, or allow the DC just to expand on even more characters. So I decided, why not? Let's make this video. So for the Birds of Prey, I'm going to go ahead and go with the 3 characters that are currently in the comics for the Birds of Prey, which are Batgirl, Huntress, and Black Canary. Since she is already confirmed to get her own solo movie, let's just go ahead and start off with Batgirl. And there's been a lot of speculation on who could play Batgirl. In the interview that Joss Whedon did, that he talked about when he was at the Guardians of the Galaxy, he said that it might not even be a known name, a named actor, like somebody with a big name. It might just be like a fresh face. And, you know, some people like that idea. I personally would rather have a known actor that we know is, like, you know, good at being dramatic or being quirky or whatever, and you'll see that in my pick if you don't already know who I would pick personally. But there is rumors, and this person is not on my list right now, but there is rumors that the actress from the show 100, Lindsay Morgan, there are rumors that she might be up for the role of Batgirl, which I personally, she wouldn't be my first choice, but I do like the idea of a mixed actress playing Batgirl. If you see here, Lindsay Morgan has actually got the brown skin, which I would not be opposed to. And I actually said I'd be totally down for this, and they could actually make it happen in the DCEU, because she's mixed. That is her actual, I think her father or mother is white, and then the opposite one is, correction, she's half Irish and half Mexican. So bada bing, bada boom. That could totally work, because her dad could be white in freaking the DCEU, and her mom could be Mexican. It could totally work. But anyways, she is rumored to possibly be Batgirl, and, you know, Joss Whedon actually likes TV actresses and bumping them up to the big screen, if you've noticed that before. But anyways, that is a rumor here, but she is not on my list, so we're not going to go ahead and talk about her. The 3 actresses I picked to play Batgirl, I feel like they just needed to fit that personality, and I feel like they do. And the first one is Emma Watson. And I know some people may or may not like that, but I think she fits Batgirl's personality really well, because you gotta remember that Batgirl is super fucking intelligent when it comes to her character. And I think Emma Watson, she played the brainiest, most badass person in Harry Potter, or at least female character-wise, unless you think Harry or somebody else is better. I thought she was fucking great in Harry Potter, and she's done some other stuff that's really good. But just, if you ever see her on Twitter, or just the stuff she stands up for, like, Emma Watson is a badass female in real life. And then just put her in the Batgirl suit, and I think she would be great. Because I think, you know, you want to have Babs to be quirky, which I think Emma Watson could easily be that quirky ability, because she's done it in the Harry Potter movies, and, you know, she can also do that real, like, I mean, I think she's gorgeous. She would fit that as well, but I think that just the smart intellect of her is what Babs really needs. I mean, you can teach somebody to fight, you can teach the choreography, you can do all of that kind of stuff. That's something that I'm not really worried about, but Emma Watson as Batgirl, I think, would be great. I think she has a look for it, but I just feel like she would do the intelligent stuff really well, and that's why I would choose her as Batgirl. The next person I think could play an awesome Batgirl would be Natalie Dormer. Now, this probably is out of left field, and I'm totally going to agree with that, but I've seen her in Game of Thrones, and I really liked what she did in Game of Thrones, and I think she could I think she can pull off the character. She's been in Hunger Games, if you've seen her in Hunger Games, so she can do some badass stuff there. I know a lot of people were mentioning Jenna Malone is already Batgirl from the BVS stuff and the BVS rumors. No, she's not Batgirl. She was just some random ass reporter chick. Although I think she could have been a solid Batgirl, but she's not going to be it. So I think Natalie Dormer could be really badass in this role. I absolutely love her in Game of Thrones. I don't know, it's just, I just wanted to throw her into the mix because I think she would look great as Batgirl, and I think she would do great as Batgirl, but she's not my first pick at all. I just kind of like making this list, I was like, yeah, Natalie Dormer, I think she'd be kind of badass. But like I said, if you follow me on Twitter, you already know, you freaking know who I think should play Batgirl and who I absolutely 100 bazillion, gadillion, quadrillion freaking believe could be Batgirl, and that is motherfucking Emma Stone. Yes, oh my god, I think Emma Stone would be the perfect freaking Batgirl in the DCEU. I mean, I just absolutely love her as an actress. She can do the quirky stuff. I mean, you've seen her in a bunch of movies. You can just go watch La La Land, and I think that personality would transfer very well for like the not ditzy, because Babs isn't ditzy, but like the quirky kind of, you know, Batgirl aspects from the comic books. But at the same time, I think she has a look. I mean, she's a natural redhead. I don't know, like I just see her in the Batsuit, which Boss Logic, that badass artist, made her into Batgirl for one of his designs, and I think she just looks freaking great. Just tell me she doesn't look great as Batgirl. And I don't know, the moment I saw that photo, I was like, oh my god, that is perfect. She's very intelligent. She's played some very intelligent roles in her career. And I don't know. I don't know who would be better than Emma Stone for Batgirl. I'm pretty sure, and I definitely want to hear your guys' picks for who you would pick as Batgirl. Some people threw out Chloe Moretz. I don't really like that pick. She was cool as Hit Girl, but I don't really like her in anything else. And just forcing her into the Batgirl thing, I just don't think she has the look for it. But yes, do let me know who you think would be Batgirl, but my ultimate pick is Emma Stone. And, you know, with Joss Whedon saying that we might not get a name, that kind of worries me, but he also said he's not opposed to actors. He says he needs to write Batgirl first. He needs to, like, be on a dialogue with this character and actually write out the script and then find his actress. So he's in no rush, which I'm totally 100% with that. If he actually writes out the script, make this badass script, and then he's all like, you know what, I think Emma Stone could really do this really well, and she's on board with it, I think that would be badass. Or you know what, if he just gets somebody that he thinks is going to be an amazing Batgirl, and she is an amazing Batgirl, I'm totally down for that. But personally, I think Emma Stone would knock it out of the park to be Batgirl. It's funny too, because if you saw my Gotham City Sirens video, you know that I was kind of like, I don't know if Emma Stone will be good as Poison Ivy, because some people threw that out there, and even Boss Logic did a rendering of that too. But when somebody said it for Batgirl, I was like, fucking A, yes, that would be perfect. Now from Batgirl, let's go ahead and move on to Huntress. Now this is going to be a really interesting one, because in the canon of Huntress over the years, she has been different races. So she's been black, she's been white, and stuff like that. So my personal perfect pick for Huntress would have been Lauren Cohan from The Walking Dead, but unfortunately she's already in the freaking DCE universe as Martha Wayne. So and hopefully the Joker, if they ever do Flashpoint, that would be amazing. But yeah, so she's not going to be the Huntress because they're not going to do that. So that totally sucks, because I think she would have been perfect. She's a badass in The Walking Dead, and I think just throwing her in a Huntress costume would look freaking great. But unfortunately, we're not going to get that. So she's my first pick to play Huntress, but we're just not going to get that. I had to put her up there because that's the first thing I thought of. But I should also mention that if they ever do the Birds of Prey, I do think they are going to go with the Black Huntress, because that is more, it's just more diversity. And it's just, you know, DC is really about that, which I applaud them for. And I think it just makes more sense, because if you have the Birds of Prey, it'll just be 3 white chicks. This one will just be perfect, because you'd have Batgirl if they go with the non, you know, ethnic Batgirl, which would be Lindsay Morgan or somebody of that nature. So let's just say they pick Emma Stone, then you would have this Black Huntress, whoever it would be, and then you have Black Canary as probably, you know, the blue-eyed blonde as she is in the comic books. So if the DCEU does go with diversity, my first pick for Huntress would be Janelle Monáe, I believe that's how you say her name, but she's been in Moonlight, she's been in Hidden Figures, 2 Oscar award-winning movies that just came out recently, and I think she'd be great. I mean, I haven't seen Hidden Figures. Moonlight, she was very like low-key in, her character wasn't a very big part, but I think she would just fit. Like, she has this, I've seen a lot of her interviews and stuff like that, and the way she just talks about acting and stuff, and I feel like she could bring that fire that Huntress has, and you know, like I said, I think she would just do really great in this role. Now, I haven't read too much of the differences between the Huntresses. The first time I got introduced to that Huntress character, I believe, I should say the diverse Huntress was the, I believe she was the partner to Dick Grayson in the Grayson comic books, but I haven't read any of the Birds of Prey. The character design looks the same, and I believe that was her code name in that thing. I don't know, I could be totally wrong, but it's just what I remember. But I do think Janelle Monáe might be pretty awesome as Huntress. But she wouldn't be my first pick, because I think personally Huntress would be great played by Sonequa Martin Green, and if that name seems familiar, it is because she is from The Walking Dead as Sasha. And, you know, there was probably ups and downs whether you like Sasha or not on the show. I thought she was a badass at many points, but just if you just watch her performance alone from The Walking Dead, you will see why she would be an awesome Huntress. Like, I just thought she brings fire, she can do a lot of different emotions, but I don't know, I mean, just, like I said, just watching her from The Walking Dead, I think she would be great in a superhero movie. She's actually going to be in the new Star Trek. I believe she's the star of the new Star Trek show. And, yeah, I think she would be perfect as Huntress, and her, you know, with Emma Stone and other characters, like, I think it would just be really badass to see her in the Huntress costume and, you know, joining the DCEU. Now, you would have thought I would have saved Batgirl for the last person to talk about, but no. I've always had a small special part for Black Canary in my heart, because I've always liked her character and the Green Arrow thing, which I don't know why we haven't got a Green Arrow movie to build off of the, you know, the show hype. They should definitely just make a Green Arrow movie. They have a Flash movie coming out with the freaking Flash show still on air, but I don't know, whatever. I'm not making these decisions, which I could be. Please, DC, call me. But in all seriousness, I wanted to save Black Canary for the end, because she is one of my favorite female DC characters. And, I don't know, there's some interesting people. This was actually kind of hard to find somebody that I would think, well, actually, I found who I think would be perfect for Black Canary right off the bat, but finding other people that I think could possibly play Black Canary was kind of a task, and I think I found 2 girls besides my main person that I think could play the character pretty well. First one being Alice Eve. Now, if you haven't seen Alice Eve, she's been in one of the Star Trek movies before. I believe she was in, She's Out of Your League. That might have been not her first movie, but one of her first, like, breakout movies. But Alice Eve, a very beautiful girl. I think she could play Black Canary pretty well, but I just feel like from what I've seen her in, she can definitely hold her own. And like I said, the fighting can be taught to anybody, and I don't know, I really like Alice Eve's character because, you know, Black Canary has this toughness, but at the same time, she has like this sexiness to her too. Not much like Catwoman. It's a very different kind of like sexiness, and it only really happens around Green Arrow. She doesn't really put it out there too much, but I do really think Alice Eve would do that kind of stuff very well. But I don't know, I really thought, like I said, it was very hard for me to find somebody that could be Black Canary besides my main person. But I think Alice Eve, I wouldn't be upset if they cast Alice Eve as Black Canary. And the next person is Yvonne Strahovski. I feel like I brutal that name every time I try to say it. But yes, I think she would be a pretty badass Black Canary. I loved her in Dexter. She was Dexter's love interest at one point. Fucking loved her there. She was in that show Chuck. If you guys remember that show, she was like a secret agent in that show, so she's been in like some stuff where she definitely fights and whatnot. But I think she would be really awesome as Black Canary if they were looking for somebody, well, obviously to be Black Canary, but I don't know, she's shown different varieties of things. She was like creepy, like I'm gonna kill you in Dexter, which I think is, I don't know why I fell in love with her character. Now that I think about it, it's like, oh man, that's kind of dangerous. But I think I loved her connection that she had with Dexter, and that's something that's very important with Black Canary, because she has to be able to really do that. She has to have a love connection if they ever do make a Green Arrow movie. So I liked her in that aspect. Like, she can do the lovey-dovey stuff if she needs to, but at the same time, with her whole Chuck role, she can also do like the action-y stuff. So I really liked her as a possible Black Canary, and she's also been, not rumored, but other people have brought her up in fan castings before, so I think she would be a possible awesome Black Canary. But neither of them even come close to who I think would be the perfect Black Canary, and that is freaking Catherine Winnick from Vikings. Oh my gosh, she is born to play Black Canary. Oh my gosh, like, yes, if you guys don't know who Catherine Winnick is, she is from the freaking show Vikings, which is one of my favorite shows now after I binge watched it recently. But man, she is so badass. Like, just watch Vikings, and she kicks so much ass in that show. And even just, if you watch that show from her stuff, you would see why she's perfect Black Canary. She kicks ass in there. In real life, she's a fucking, I don't know if she's like a double black belt or just a black belt, but she's a black belt, so she could literally kick your ass in real life, meaning she could do her own stunts and stuff. There's been like a lot of training videos with her out there. I think she actually has like, not her, I don't know if she has her own dojo, or I believe I saw an interview where she teaches classes. That's something Black Canary does. In her freaking comic books, she opens up a dojo and teaches other people to fight. If you've seen Young Justice, she teaches the freaking, you know, Robin and all them how to fight too. Like, oh my god. She's a real-life Black Canary. She just doesn't do the screamy voice thing unless she hasn't shown us that yet. But yes, so she's a badass in a show. She's badass in real life. She is gorgeous. Like, oh my god. Like, okay, so freaking, you guys might not know this about me, but like, Scarlett Johansson has been one of my biggest crushes forever. But then I found out about Catherine Winnick, and then Catherine Winnick is like beating Scarlett Johansson out of the way for me. Because man, she's just so gorgeous. Although I still love you, Scarlett. But seriously, I do think she would be perfect for Black Canary. I'm just telling you, like, if you need to see proof, go watch her in Vikings. Like, she is a badass. Like, she does not let men get in her way. Like, she will kill you. And I just think, and she's even come out and said that she would be down to play Black Canary in freaking the DCEU. So she wants to be Black Canary. She is like the real life Black Canary. Make her the Black Canary. I don't think there's anybody else that should be Black Canary. I seriously 100% think it should be Catherine Winnick. And if you follow me on Twitter, you know that the dude from Sons of Anarchy or whatever, everybody thinks he would be the perfect Arrow. I think he'd be great too, but he says he has no interest in the role. He doesn't know anything about the Green Arrow. It's not his style of movies, so he wouldn't end up doing it. So, with him out of the way, I think you bring in her love interest from Vikings, freaking Travis Fimmel, I believe is how you say his last name, but their chemistry in the Vikings show was so badass. If you were to make him the Green Arrow and her Black Canary, boom, done. The chemistry would be perfect. I think they would be both great in the role. I mean, this is what he looks like. I think he could be an awesome freaking Green Arrow too. So yeah, you could go right there, cast her as Black Canary, cast him as your Green Arrow, give them their own freaking spin-off series, because Green Arrow would be, you could make such a badass Green Arrow movie without even really throwing a big budget into it. Like, it could be like at a school of badass, just like chill. Think of something like Logan or Deadpool. Those movies were done on like $50 million or something like that. You can totally do a badass Green Arrow movie with that kind of budget. So, and Green Arrow is kind of like, you know, he's kind of, I don't know, whatever. That's a whole nother video. We'll talk about that some other time. But freaking Catherine Winnick as Black Canary. Make it happen, DC. Guys and gals, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with all your DC fanboy buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I'm your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. If I have my daily dose of juice, see you guys next time.